Hello, welcome back to Being Black with Camille Smith, and today it's just me. Okay, so that's new. Today we're going to be talking about being Black and not comparing struggles, as well as some logistics moving forward. So this topic has been heavy on my heart for a while now, and I wanted to take the opportunity to talk with you guys by myself because I am just finishing up my season 1, which was the first 10 episodes of Being Black, and starting my season 2, which will be the next 10 episodes moving forward. And I wanted to talk about being Black and not comparing struggles. If you have heard, over the past year, so really COVID has been, we're coming up on our year anniversary, the hate crimes against the Asian community have been exponential over the past few weeks and months, but over the past year or so, a lot of the people within the Asian community have been targets due to rhetoric from the previous administration, to the rhetoric of people around the world blaming the Asian community for this virus. So I wanted to make this video because whenever I see a hate crime, or whenever I see any sort of discrimination or racism or whatever you want to call it, it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people within the Black community comparing struggles. So again, the hate crimes against the Asian community over the past few weeks have been astronomical in comparison to what we normally hear about. And a lot of people within the Black community that I've been seeing on the internet have been talking about like, oh, well, like we've been dealing with that for X amount of years, or we've been dealing with that forever, our entire lives. But what I want to explain or articulate to you is that that doesn't matter. Now, I'm not saying that our struggles as a community do not matter whatsoever, because they do and they are valid. However, two things can exist within a space and not take away from the other. So to see discrimination or hate crimes acted on against the Asian community and to turn a blind eye to it because that also happens within your community or to your community is absurd to me. We cannot move forward as a community that is actively trying to fight racism or the isms that affect us on a regular basis and turn a blind eye when another community is affected in a similar way. We do not have to compare our struggles. Two things can exist without taking away from the other. I think it's very, very easy for the Black community to be in this weird situation that, okay, yes, like we've been discriminated against for years, for hundreds and hundreds of years, and to see another community begin to be discriminated against, at least televised, and a lot of people immediately, see like, oh wow, like that's wrong, but those same people struggle to see the discrimination and racism that affects your community. That's really difficult, and it has been frustrating to navigate that, okay, like this thing is wrong. We all know that it's wrong, but the same people that have neglected to see that those same things that are wrong against the Black community are now very easily seeing the negative things that are impacting other communities. So as a Black person, it's very easy to get frustrated. It's very easy to be desensitized to it. But I'm challenging you to stand up and voice that you are against this. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to, call police stations. You don't have to necessarily take like that active role. But I want to challenge people to, if the conversation is brought up, you stand up against it. You should not be complicit, because if we're complicit, then other people can be complicit, and that's not okay. The Asian community needs our help, and I think it's really important, specifically as a Black person, to acknowledge their struggles and stand up with them in the fight against racism for everyone. So acknowledge that discrimination and racism happens to a lot of other minoritized groups, and just because it does happen within our community or to our community, we can't turn a blind eye to discrimination and racism that happens to other communities as well. Now, logistically, as I mentioned, I'm ending my first season as the first 10 episodes, and I'm starting my second season, which will be the next 10 episodes. I'm super, super excited. I have now officially segued into interviewing people that I don't necessarily know directly, which is super cool, and that was the point of, making these episodes and talking about these topics. Over the course of season 1, we've talked about being Black and navigating colorism. being in STEM, being in engineering. We've talked about mental health, about navigating the corporate world, and that is the point. I want to have seasons that have a multitude of topics that cater to a lot of different people and interest a lot of different people. And my last thing before I end this video is I really am relying on you guys to share these videos, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Please share these videos or episodes with people that you think actually will be interested, that are going to share it with other people. I really want to get these conversations out to as many people as possible moving forward. And that is it for this video. Please subscribe if you haven't, and hit that little bell button so you get weekly updates for my episodes every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for bearing with me, and I'm super excited to move forward.